Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. Well, this is part 2 of the Cuevas cigar review, and we're doing the Cuevas Reserva. Yesterday was the natural. Today is the Maduro. And this is another Robusto 5x52. There's your density. Now, there's plenty of information on the blog about the Casa Cuevas and how it came about. These cigars actually had a very limited debut in the early 2000s, but in 2016, they got serious. And the son convinced the father to go into it full speed ahead. So that's what we've got now. The Casa Cuevas is a full-time cigar company. The Cuevas Reserva Maduro is a personal favorite of Cuevas Sr. It features a San Andreas Mexican wrapper, a Dominican Piloto Cubano binder, and a combination of Dominican and Nicaraguan Ometepe fillers. Comes in 3 sizes, as we said yesterday. A Robusto, a Toro, and a Torpedo. And the Maduro starts at $10.50 for the Robusto, up to $11.40 for the Torpedo. So that's the long and the short of it. I hope we can find a good one here. It's always good to find a good Maduro. So let's get right to it. The new Cuevas Reserva Maduro Robusto. All right, let's give the old cap here a little clip. It's a very dark cigar, very nice looking. You may remember the band is exactly the same as the natural, which is really Connecticut. The band is the same. They have one band, it seems like. That's okay. Boy, I took off just about as little as you could, and it's a good draw. Very good draw. Well, the first flavors that you get fairly quickly are a nice cedar with some sweetness of a low-level brown sugar and a little bit of cinnamon. Some nutmeg actually still kind of in the mix, kind of almost a leathery type nutmeg, but it's low level. But the thing you're going to really get is a lot of sweet dark chocolate, not overly sweet, but has some sweetness, but it's definitely dark chocolate. And I would say espresso. It is a very dark roasted coffee if it's not espresso. Black pepper, not quite as much as the natural was yesterday. Black pepper, about 7.5. Yesterday's natural or Connecticut was 8+. It could be that there's so many dark notes in this cigar, it's almost hiding the pepper. It's hard to hide black pepper, but I'm just saying it's not the same amount. The nutmeg type flavor is very creamy. It has a few leathery aspects to it. Not a great deal, but it's very creamy, and it's almost instead of, I'm gonna have to let it develop, but it's almost an almond butter type flavor instead of a nutmeg. So we're gonna reserve that final judgment till we get a little further down the road. Again, I only had two of these um, sent by the distributing company to review, and I really need more than two, and I mentioned that to them. But I've had one. This is the second one, only one and a half. So let me let it develop a little bit. That's not a bad start. Very dark. Well, we're here at the first third. You still have the cedar, and it is definitely a nutmeg I'm going with. Very low level amount of leather with it. The brown sugar is rather subdued. So is the cinnamon. The dark chocolate has sweetness, and it's more percentage of a flavor than the cedar and brown sugar and what have you. And then you have the espresso. It's a very dark roasted coffee or espresso. Flip a coin. It's about the same. The finish is very much dark chocolate, some nutmeg, some black coffee. Pretty good lingering black pepper. I don't think it's as much as it was for the natural. Medium to full bodied. But the dark notes in this cigar has some sweetness, and it's actually very good. Uh, Maybe a tad better, just a touch than the natural. I would start it off at 93. Nice dark noted cigar, which we'll have to see where we go from here, but it's not a bad first third. So let's see where we go from here. Well, we're here at the end of the second third. Starting very nicely. Now the flavors are mixing better now. You do have the cedar, and you can get it. You have the brown sugar and the cinnamon in minor amounts, but you still get it. You have the nutmeg with a touch of leatheriness. You have the dark chocolate with some sweetness, and you have the espresso. I think the pepper might have gone up a tad. The finish is completely unchanged, full bodied. But the cigar is the best it's been, although I won't change the score. I'll leave it at 93. It's not a 94. It's the best it's been, but it's in line with the first third. The first third was good. The second third is equally as good, maybe a touch better, but we're going to leave the score the same. The final third does end a lot of cigars. Hopefully this one will hold. Let's see. Well, we're down to the end. So let's wrap it up. Here in the end, you had a little bit of a jostling of the percentages. The cedar, dry cedar now, is out a little more, along with some more brown sugar and the cinnamon. The nutmeg is very smooth, relatively creamy. The leather is pretty much gone away. The dark chocolate has actually decreased, and the espresso or dark roasted black coffee seems to be holding its own, maybe even ticked up. Still very full bodied. Finish is pretty much unchanged. But it's been sort of a change in the percentages of flavors, but overall, the uh, appeal of the cigar remained the same. I like the dry cedar coming out a little more. I did not like the loss of the dark chocolates or the decrease in it, but it was sort of a net zero gain or loss. So I'm going to maintain 93. It changed percentages, but the likability was the same. So your overall score is 93. Pretty good cigar. Um, New to most of you, as it is to me. These are around. I noticed that some sites are selling. There's a standard Connecticut and Maduro and what have you of a Cuevas line, but this is the Reserva, so it's it should be a little better, and it's pretty good. So there you have it, the Cuevas Reserva Maduro Robusto 93.